All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. But before we proceed with tonight's event, I just want to take a second for us to look backwards. The last 14 months have been incredibly unnerving for just about everyone. And in March 2020, the entire world basically came to a complete stop. Yet you all kept going. As if the COVID-19 pandemic wasn't enough, those of you who were in Texas endured the brutal winter storm, or the Texas freeze, as some would call it. By the way, many of you had to deal with years of raising children, taking care of adult dependents, employment or financial uncertainty, working full time or multiple jobs, commuting to campus, readjusting to being in school, and trying to make all of this work while earning your bachelor's degree. Incredible, simply incredible. So keep that in mind throughout this evening and the rest of your lives. My name is Chris Dixon, and I'm the coordinator of Off Campus Student Services and tonight's host. On behalf of the University of North Texas, Student Activities, and Off Campus Student Services, we thank you for your attendance in celebration of our Spring 2020 non traditional student graduates. While there are various commencement ceremonies and receptions happening, we wanted to make sure that our non-traditional students got the special recognition they deserve because they often face specific challenges along with the typical challenges of being a college student on their way to achieving this momentous milestone. This achievement was probably not easy, so having a support system is very helpful. At this time, we would also like to recognize those of you in attendance who supported our Spring 2021 graduates through their journey. This is a celebration of you as well, so please be sure to give them a gesture of your appreciation. Tonight's celebration will include words from our Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. Elizabeth With, followed by acknowledgments of our Spring 2021 non-traditional student graduates. You will also receive some words of wisdom and congratulations from a former UNT non-traditional student and current UNT employee, Dana Mordecai. Also, our friends from Toulouse Graduate School will provide information regarding your departure from baccalaureate studies if you decide to go on and study here at UNT. Finally, winter is over, so Scrappy has flown back to us and is here in attendance. So make sure you wave to him. And now for our special guest, Dr. Elizabeth With has served UNT as Vice President for Student Affairs for over a decade. Her overall connection and relationship with UNT goes back even further, including earning her doctorate here. Therefore, there are not many people out there who bleed mean green more than Dr. With. She wanted to share a moment with you before the next phase of your life and possible education. Please direct your attention to Dr. Elizabeth With.
Good evening, everybody. Chris, thank you. It's really nice to be here with all of you and to celebrate this important milestone with all of you. I remember how great it felt to get to the end and to feel like I could breathe again, knowing I didn't have any looming papers or tests. Enjoy that feeling. Sometimes I miss it. Well, I think everyone would say that college isn't an easy venture. You've all added some levels of difficulty to what could be already an overwhelming adventure. So you bring things like being a parent, maybe being a single parent. Some of you may be older than the traditional college student. Maybe you work full time or you've re-entered college after a significant break. Maybe you transferred from a community college. Maybe you're a veteran and served your country in the armed forces. Some of you may commute from a very significant distance. And some of you might have been 100% online in courses long before COVID even started. Those are all things that make the adventure and venture more of a difficult proposition. But I'm so proud of all of you that you persevered. And as all those situations that I just mentioned weren't enough, Chris mentioned it too. You added a global pandemic and a once in a blue moon storm, and you made it anyway. That shows a great deal of perseverance. My experience tells me that the resiliency and the ability to work through difficult situations is exactly what's going to make you successful in your next role, whether that's in your chosen career field or whether you decide to go to graduate school. Here at UNT, we would love that. You definitely have what it takes, and you can and you should utilize those experiences to prove it in any way that you can. It certainly will help you in the interview. That can-do spirit is exactly what employers are looking for and what they desire in their workforce. I love the diversity of our campus because it contributes to the overall culture of who we are. And the diversity of experiences that you brought to UNT only helped to enrich it for many others. You brought your wisdom, your lived experiences, your leadership, all is brought with you as a student. You know, you served as role models and examples for others. And you especially served as role models when you shared your experiences as part of your classroom discussions, group projects with your friends, faculty, and the others that you interacted with during your time here. I want you to know that you're an inspiration to me and to many others around you, and also many on this campus. Your families, children, colleagues, friends, and community recognize your effort. And while you may not see it immediately, they're going to use you as a role model when they are faced with adversity and challenge. And maybe when they start college someday and remember what it was like for you and how you were able to overcome. Chris mentioned that I got my doctorate here. And when I did, I was working at a full-time job. I was a new mom. My husband traveled from Friday night to Sunday night, or back Sunday night to Friday night every single week. It was difficult, but I only did that for a year. Many of you have juggled many of these roles for many more years. I'm in awe of your effort and your desire to succeed to make a better life for you and your family. Go out there and continue to make us proud. And please check in with us along the way and tell us how you're doing. We care about you now, and we're going to continue to care about you. And we want to help celebrate your future successes as well. Congratulations on this extraordinary achievement. I hope you're able to celebrate and enjoy this special moment in time in your life. Go Mean Green.
All right, thank you. Please give Dr. Woods a round of applause or a gesture of applause. Once again, we can't thank you enough, Dr. Woods, for taking time out of your busy schedule to give us those words of wisdom and inspiration. So now it's time for the main event. Before we get to our next speaker, we wanted to get you all acknowledged. So next is the acknowledgements of our Spring 2021 non-traditional student graduates. So please direct your attention to the screen as we acknowledge our graduates. Before each name is read, there will be a slight delay to give you and your guests time to unmute yourselves and cheer if you would like. So make sure you're ready. Names will be called in order of last name. Please be sure to mute yourselves after you cheer in consideration for the person that's after you. As a Zoom tip, you can press and hold the space bar to temporarily unmute yourselves. So are you all ready? All right, and first up, Rakan Alsaawi, Mechanical Engineering and Technology. Kristin Santel Anderson, Integrative Studies. Francesca Joyce Barnett, Social Work. Nathanael Brown, History. Roxana Guadalupe Canales, Applied Behavior Analysis. Mishon Charles, Criminal Justice. Shantira Coleman, Integrative Studies with fields in Information, Sociology, and Education. Tracie Randall Crosswhite, Applied Arts and Sciences. Lamekia Charmain Curry, Biology with a minor in Chemistry with the Forensic Science certification. Sahil Dosani, Business Computer Information Systems. Angela Harris, History. Alyssa Jablonowski, Applied Arts and Sciences. I just love the little one's shirt, 2038. Sherry Johnston Timmerman, Applied Arts and Sciences. Antonio D. Cottrell Jr., Computer Engineering. Bria A. McCullough, Integrative Studies. Eddie Medina, Construction Engineering Technology. Juan Nunes, Spanish. Dallas Ramey, Interdisciplinary Studies, Early Childhood through Grade 6 with English as a Second Language Supplemental Certification.
There he is.
Joshua Roberts, Organizational Behavior and Human Resource Management. Mercedes Rogers, Applied Arts and Sciences. Noshin Sharmili, Business Computer Information Systems.
Yay, Gabby.
Gabriela Elise Torres, Integrative Studies.
Yay.
Madeline West, Sociology. And finally, Gwendolyn Westbrook Wright, Recreation, Event, and Sports Management. And with that, congratulations to all the spring 2021 non-traditional student graduates. Please join me in giving them a collective round of applause.
Way to go, guys. Woohoo!
I love the dog. The dog just knows what's going on. That's great. Coming up next is Dana Mordecai. Dana currently serves UNT as the Assistant Director for Graduate Recruitment for the Toulouse Graduate School. She has a story that is very similar to some of you as a former non-traditional student herself, but I'll let her tell you for herself. Please direct your attention to Ms. Dana Mordecai.
Thanks so much, Chris. I just want to first say a huge congratulations to everybody. You guys have worked so hard for this really huge accomplishment. And I'm just really honored to be able to speak with you today and to tell you I've been there. I know how you're feeling right now. And it's really just the result of so much hard work, so much persistence, and a result of lots of people in your life making sure that you're getting to this point. So, and I'll just tell you a little bit about my story that I started out as maybe some of you did, thinking that right out of high school, go to college, that's what I need to do. But maybe some of us didn't really know what we wanted to do. And so you struggle a little bit in classes. And in my case, I went to another university for a year and failed out. I'll just be completely honest with you. I did not have the strength and the know-how of how to get through that time in my life. And so I struggled with figuring out what is it that I want to do, what's going on in my life. And so other things happened. I would go for a semester and then I would lay out, and then I met someone and I got married, and I would take another few classes every so often. And then I would have a kid and I would take another class or two, but there was still no direction in my life. And so I continued taking classes for a while, again, with no real direction and no real kind of motivation to continue on. And it was really challenging. I was working in corporate America and was doing very well for someone who didn't have a college degree. However, it was really stressful. I will give you that. Having two young kids under the age of 3, getting laid off 3 weeks before Christmas from this company that I'd been with for 10 years. And I talked to my husband and my family, and at some point it just really clicked. And I said, I want to finish this. I want to finish this thing that I've been doing for so many years with no direction. And at some point it really just meant I want to be done, right? I want to get that piece of paper and I want to have that accomplishment. And so I was really lucky to be able to come back to UNT and say, hey, how are you going to help me? And you know what? UNT said, we're going to help you. We're going to show you this pathway where you can get done with your bachelor's degree. And so 18 years later, after I started as a freshman, I completed my bachelor's degree. I got a BAAS degree, and I'm so proud of that. So excited to have been done with that, and glad that my kids were able to see me do that. I see some kids on the screens today, and you should be so proud of your parents for this huge accomplishment. And what happened to me next was really something that I never expected to happen. I worked at actually in the graduate school as a student worker. And this is somebody who was in her 30s with, again, 2 young kids. But I fell in love with higher education. I fell in love with the way that the university supported me as a non-traditional student, somebody coming in from this varied background and with, you know, a lot of baggage about how do I get through this process? And so I fell into my passion by working at UNT, and I'm so grateful to still be here 15 years later and doing this work that supports you and all of our students means something to me every single day. One of the best things about my job is that I get to participate in commencement ceremonies. And it is by far the best thing I get to do all year long, is to see the faces of the graduates who have finally done it. And especially for students who have maybe had a journey similar to mine, where you didn't have a direction, or you really had these struggles with kids, with jobs, with maybe even partners who didn't support you. But you've made it, and it's really exciting. And with the job that I do and talking with people about their future, I used to ask them, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? Many of you think you've already grown up, right? You're well into maybe some careers even. You've been doing this for a while, but I really want to pose a different question to you now. And that is, how do you want to change the world? That's really the question. How do you now want to take your UNT degree and to change the world? So I'll leave you with that. But again, congratulations to everybody. Just well-deserved. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you, Dana. Be sure to give her a gesture of her applause for taking some time out to impart us with her experiences as a former non-traditional student. So thank you again, Dana. So we tend to think of graduation as the end of a journey. However, colleges use the term commencement, which actually means beginning. As you enjoy your special milestone as non-traditional student graduates, keep in mind that this is the beginning of much greater things to come. Therefore, we invited the UNT Toulouse Graduate School, aside from Dana, of course, for those of you who may want to consider your graduate studies, whether now or in the near future, and some of you may be continuing right away. Nonetheless, we invited Dr. Joseph Apong of the Toulouse Graduate School to just take a minute to just give you some words about graduate studies as you leave your baccalaureate studies. So without further ado, I introduce Dr. Joseph Apong.
Chris, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Graduates, congratulations. We are proud of you. You did it. You did it. You have every reason to be proud. This particular year has been very, very difficult. One of the biggest challenges we have had to deal with is graduate students' mental health. As academic associate in the graduate school, I hear the stories. I hear the stories of students who are caregivers for their older parents and who are also taking care of their little kids. A spouse who has lost their job because of COVID. A student who is trying to find funds to pay for their mom's rent. And in all of these things, trying to maintain their research productivity or trying to maintain their grades. You did it. Under normal circumstances, completing a degree is extremely difficult. And then you add on top of that, COVID, and what my students call snowpocalypse this past semester. You did it. When I look at the American population, in fact, not many people have a degree. I show this slide all the time. The percent of the American population that has a degree is about maybe 30%. The percent that has a doctoral degree is 2%. Master's degree or higher is about 12%. So with a bachelor's degree or higher, we're talking 30%. So here's the first thing I want you to remember. You are smart right now. You are smart. You are smarter than 70% of the American population. That's where you are. And that tells me that you are smart enough to come to graduate school and come to join the next level of academic accomplishment. I want to invite you to come and get a master's degree and join the top 12% of the American population in terms of academic achievement. You can do it. This is one thing I tell our students. If you're smart enough to go to graduate school, you're smart enough to get somebody else to pay for it. And I can show you how. And when you come, we will help you. We will work with you to apply for funds, scholarships, fellowships, etc., to support your education. That's what Toulouse Graduate School does. We're proud to be a Tier 1 research university, and we're proud that you are going to go out there and represent us. You have worked very hard. You have every reason to be proud because we are proud of your accomplishments. And I can't wait for you to come back to grad school because we're waiting for you. Congratulations. This is my dream. I want you to go out there, get rich and famous, and then bring us a big fat check so that we can continue the work that we're doing. Again, congratulations. I'm proud of you. Go out there and make UNT proud. And thank you, thank you, thank you for giving us this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Apong, for taking some time to spend with us. Please give him a round of applause or a gesture of applause. So that concludes tonight's virtual reception. So I just want to thank you for getting through yet another Zoom meeting. I know some of you are tired of them. I am tired of them, and I don't do as many as you. So I really do thank you for taking some time to appreciate or to celebrate this special moment. And we also want to thank you, of course, the Spring 2021 non-traditional student graduates, to the families of those graduates, whether they're in attendance or not attendance, as well as friends or any other significant others that was a part of your special journey. Another thank you to Dr. Elizabeth With, taking time out of her busy schedule, and to Dr. Apong again from the Toulouse Graduate School. And of course, our non-traditional graduate, Dana Mordecai, special thanks to her. And thank you to the off-campus student services team, our graduate assistant, Rodolfo Gomez, who was very instrumental in getting this all set up for you. You probably saw his emails. He is actually a spring 2020 graduate, and he's currently having his commencement ceremony as a makeup. So he couldn't be here, so I told him, go ahead and take that time off to celebrate your moment. And finally, to our director, Dr. Krista Coffey, who's in attendance, if she could wave to everyone, for her work in helping me prepare for this event. So with that, I just want to say mean green forever, congratulations, and good night, and don't be a stranger.